Yawn. I good at fake yawns, but it has been obvious this entire time. I had not really managed to sleep, but I had not stopped thinking about that message and all that implied. Take a look. Would I finally get the answers I had been looking for several days now? Would all these secrets around me finally stop? What would it change for me? What was I getting involved in? I too find myself in a delicate situation in regard to the Espers. There was only one way to find out. Only one way to find out. There's to change clothes off screen. Come in from the opposite side. I took my things and set off for the temple. By the way, might actually need a third day to complete all this game. I don't know. How long it takes me to actually read aloud all this. I walked for several minutes in the middle of the immense gardens without having come across anyone yet. The soothing atmosphere of this place had already had a slight positive effect on me. I felt a little more relaxed, less frightened, less anxious, but still very upset. I had not even visited a quarter of the grounds, but I had already gone through a good half-dozen places more remarkable than the last. The place was fascinating, but I was unfortunately not in the best conditions to enjoy it. I stopped for a moment to take stock. Haven't met anyone yet. Hope I'm not late. You are not, no. What? Where are you? Show yourself! Show yourself? This little game has gone on long enough. This last staging was enough to make me lose my cool for a few seconds. Everything I had accumulated over the past few days had just come out. I had just freed myself from it. You! Surprised I may have been mistaken about you in the end. I hurried here because I had a feeling that you were about to discover everything, but I say I had nothing to worry about. So there is something going on. Always as insightful as I see? You made as to say that I was not just coming to pay a courtesy call. All hope may not be lost. As during my interview, she had this aggressive and arrogant tone, or was she mocking me? I was not in the mood to listen to her sarcasms. All hope may not be lost for me, but for you, maybe if you don't have good reason for being here. ... Precisely, I'm getting to it, since you obviously haven't been able to learn more by yourself. She was always trying to have the last word. I felt it was useless to play into her game. I decided to let her talk, my anger slowly leaving room to curiosity. As you've understood, I'm here to talk about what's going on around you right now. But before going further, tell me what you have already discovered, even if it is not much. ... So I had a hard time keeping calm. It was becoming more and more annoying. Her condescending attitude irritated me to the highest degree. I tried to control myself without depriving myself of sarcasm. The highest degree, I say. I wanted to murder her, stab her in this grounds right now with this knife that I have hidden in my coat pocket with my hands in it. I don't believe Rio has a knife in there, but I mean... discovered that an imprudent person working without the consent of the Academy was trying to get in my way of my exam. Is that a good enough answer? Nice try, but I think you haven't fully understood the current situation. They have reached some conclusions about the risks I am taking as a credit to your performance, but that will not be of any use to you. Whether you use it against me or not won't change anything. On the other hand, what you have not yet understood is that if you want to know more, you are going to have to work with me. Well, I figured out you're a bitch. Yeah, pretty much, KB. Like, oh, I was a bit louder than I intended. I was tossing my cigarettes and my lighter into my really onto my phone. I tossed on the bed a moment ago. And I know you want to know more, and know very well that you've been asking yourself a lot of questions. Should we reach our goal, it could change everything for many people. Many. But for that, it would be necessary that you put in more effort. I did not expect that by now you would have discovered so little. That's why I'm asking you to report back to me so that I can determine the best way to proceed. Makes you think that this interests me. My exam is going well, making steady progress. I don't need anything else, especially not you. You were much more talkative when you were talking to your friends in a setting that you thought was private, if you know what I mean. ... But the mail server was not as private as I thought, if I understand what you're telling me. Private, you say? It is, much more than you and your friend think, but only for those who don't know about it already. You know, I too was a student at the same academy as you, by the way. I graduated a little less than 15 years ago now. And during my training at the academy, I always had a taste for anything related to breaking the rules. I was far from being a model student, you know. Gifted, yes, very talented even, but that was far from my primary quality. I experimented with a lot of things to see how far I could go without getting caught, and this messaging system was one of those things. I see, so you used it as well when you were both a young Esper. How did you do to get access? What? Brain? Wait, what sentence? But how did you do to get access to it? Brett told me you changed the password. It's been a while since we've ran into an issue. I don't know how to tie that into the song I was trying to do there. Did not work out. You misunderstood me, Mr. Basaki. The messaging server, it was me. I didn't just use it. I created it. I do not need a password or authorization to view it. It is for this reason that I am aware of your interest in what is happening around you and the questions you are asking yourself. And what I just told you about my past should be enough to convince you that I am not the kind of person who is afraid of the consequences of their actions. It is therefore useless to try to take advantage of my situation. It will not work. You are not in a position of strength, I am sorry to have to teach you this. If you want to know more, you will have to work with me, and to work with me, you have to tell me exactly what you know and what you have learned. Most importantly, you have to do more. There are many things you will have to discover for yourself if everything goes planned. Oh, hi Kitty K-Bot. This implies that you be more protective than in recent days. I really did not want to work with her, but I obviously did not have a choice. She was 2 steps ahead of me. I wanted to know more, but it bothered me not to have any cards in my hand. It was a big risk, especially with respect to the academy. I had to find a way to return the situation to my advantage, or at least be at less of a disadvantage. So what are you proposing is to work with you without knowing anything about the situation, with the promise that I would get answers. Exactly. And if I refuse? You won't refuse. And if I told the cat, would you stop wasting both our time? You will soon understand that the time we have is more than valuable. These conditions do not suit you, but you have no other choice. You want answers, and I can assure you that you will get them. I can even assure you that you will learn so much more about yourself that soon you won't know who you are. Oh god, we're gonna have a midlife crisis at like the age of 19. I can only go down from here. Oh, she's a snarky bitch too? Yes, she is, KB. Well, that would depend on your ability to be effective, so it's not a done deal. Go ahead, I'm listening. I already read your messages. I already know part of the story, so make it short. Everybody counts. I had no choice but to listen to her. I was more or less trapped by my curiosity, and she had already understood that for a while. She was not lying when she said she was good. Alright, I'll trust you. For now. That's more than enough. I'm listening. Shortly after my arrival, and guided by my powers, I met a girl who seemed to need help. After spending some time with her, I felt my powers manifest. The following night, I saw memories of this person in the form of a dream. The next day, my powers reacted to the presence of another person. You seem to know her. Her name is Yuna. I feel like I had a vision similar to the first, but I don't remember what I saw. I may not even have seen anything. This happened twice. I then started following the trail leading to you, through the housekeeper. Now that I understood her personality a bit more, I was not surprised at what she had told Maria to force her to cooperate. Tell me about those visions you don't remember. They happened when I came in contact with someone you seem to know, a certain Yuna, as I just told you. When these visions occurred, I felt disconnected from reality for a moment. I think I even lost consciousness for the first time. I feel like I saw something, that I had to remember something, but I don't know what. I see. That's interesting. As you've already guessed, I'm here about what's going on between you and that girl, Yuna. And as if you already understood, this is not an official task from the Academy. This is nonetheless a job that only an Esper can undertake. I tried to get you closer to her to see how your powers would react, and the results are encouraging. However, I can't tell you any more about it for the moment. There are things that you have discovered for yourself, and you will understand why in due course. You'll have to continue to get closer to this girl and to exercise your powers. That's what you call answers? That's what you call coughing? You will have to be satisfied with that for the moment. Your results will get you the answers, not me. Why don't you do it yourself? Why do I have to get involved? Because I can't do anything for her. You're telling me that you can't help her, but that I can? You really think I'm going to believe that? That's exactly what I'm telling you, as surprising it may seem to you. How am I supposed to handle this situation? I mean, I examined a person that I had to help, that I want to help, now that I know what her past is made of. Oh, you mean that girl, Yano? Forget her, she'll get over her problems pretty soon. You're asking me to abandon my exam? Yuna is your exam. Get closer to her and try to control your powers, that's all I ask you. Did not want to do that, not at all. I was shocked by what she told me. I wanted to dedicate time to this new story, of course, but totally abandon Yano? No, I could not do that. I certainly want answers, but I can't give up on Yano now, whatever you may say. As you said yourself, you won't have enough time to devote yourself to these two cases. It is therefore normal to focus on the most important one. Most important, but for whom? For me? For you? ... No, for Yuna. This is the most important case because it's the most urgent. If you don't work on it now, you will never have the opportunity to do so again. Our time is running out. Our time is running out? She told me about a transfer. Is this related? She'll be leaving soon, right? This is one of the consequences, yes, but this isn't the main problem. I think this is information that I can tell to you. Consider it a favor to help you grasp the situation. Yuna is doomed. Her life is coming to an end, probably because of my presence here. It's only a matter of days. I was stunned by what I had just heard. These words resonated in my head for a long time. I could not believe what she had just told me. I don't understand. You mean that Yuna is going to die and because of us? That's what I said to you, yes, but not our fault. Fine. I don't understand? She announced this to me like that without even a hint of compassion or pain in your voice. The fact that you are unable to control your emotions is a sign of weakness that not everyone has. Pull yourself together. I don't understand. That's why the situation is so complex. You'll have to find out why for yourself. It's the only way. That's not what I mean. Your presence here is the cause of the problem, but then why did you come? Do not care about what tricks I used to put her in this situation. I don't need to understand that to tell you what I think. You knew things were going to turn this way. You knew, didn't you? Why did you come? You have voluntarily put her in this situation by your presence here. Even if I don't really understand what is happening or what you want me to do, I think I understand that if you didn't come here, none of this would be happening. All of this is your fault. You're toying with her life. Everything is indeed my fault, but my presence here has only accelerated the inevitable. Yuna's life was already coming to an end, with only a few months left or at most a year. And you dare to deprive her of this time? Cue Widowmaker's "Your emotions make you vulnerable" line? I don't remember that line, KB. I have not unlocked it. Granted, I didn't really play Widow too often, and when I was playing with Widow on my team, or the enemy team, they were usually, you know, halfway across the map and I can't hear the fucking voice line anyway. So, I mean, I don't recall it at all. And you dare to deprive her of this time? Who are you to decide this, and what did you do to influence that? If I am here, it is not to condemn her, but to try to save her. But without you, it will be impossible. Besides, I'm not even sure that you can do anything. It is for this reason that I need you to clear your mind of all these questions that will not be immediately answered. I already told you, you will have to trust me and double your efforts. Learning to control your powers when in contact with Yuna must become your top priority. And if things go well, then you have the answers you're looking for, and maybe the unthinkable might happen. How could I trust you when you are hiding so many things from me? So many things! Would it not be easier to tell me everything? Things could go so much faster. It is precisely at this point that I ask you to trust me. If I'm only giving you minimal information, it's for a good reason. You understand the risk I'm currently taking in relation to the Academy and Yuna, but you doubt me just because I can't tell you more? I will tell you one last time. You, and only you, can change the situation, but to get there you will have to become stronger. The only way for you to get there is to understand by yourself what is happening and what has happened. And when you finally have understood everything, you will congratulate yourself for having trusted me. I was sad, angry, curious. All those feelings were rolling inside me. I had no choice but to accept what she told me. I could not help but believe her and give Yuna a chance. Okay. Shall we proceed? Brain? That was that. I don't even know. Whatever. I will come and live in your home. The Academy will start looking for me, and that's the last place they'll look for me. I'll have to lay low so that they don't find any trace of my powers. And from there, I can follow your progress and guide you when necessary. Although I can't tell you anything, I don't intend to let you do this job alone. I will be by your side so that everything goes well. And Ayano? Forget her. You will not be able to save Yuna if you don't concentrate all your efforts on her. I didn't like this. The mere idea of not helping Ayano hurt me. She needed me even though she had not realized it yet. I had to find a way to take care of Ayano and Yuna. I did not want to leave anyone behind. No girl left behind. I needed more time. One more thing. It is likely that the... Hello, Fly. You have returned. Fucker, land on my monitor again. I could smack you and kill you and be done with it. One more thing. It is likely that the principal, Mr. No waifu left behind, exactly. Had access to the first messages that you exchanged with your friend, which could lead him to suspect something. I did not expect you to use that server. I have since taken some precautions, but I would appreciate it if you could send another message to your friend. I suggest you tell him that everything has worked out, that your exam is proceeding as planned, and that you no longer need his help. I invent what you want about your powers, but make it clear that you can finally control them and that everything is back to normal. On that topic, is there not a risk that Brent might have seen your messages? No, I blocked access to server. I blocked access to server! I will allow him access again when your own messages are restored. Just mention a connection problem that you also had as well. That will be enough. Oh, Fly? Are you gonna... Oh, Fly. Come on now. Fucking Fly. At the moment, I was what I had to do to buy me some time. I understand. I'll do that as soon as we get back. It would be better if we aren't seen together, just in case. I have a duplicate key to your house. I'll go first. Once there, I will give you the procedure to follow for the next steps of the operations. Saving private waifu. By the way, what was the exact text? Blocked access to server. So I'm gonna add it to my list of corrections for Stoy. From now on, I'm counting on you. Yeah, there's been like... Oh hell. Like 11 things that we've ran across that have just been like, obviously that was not corrected. For some odd reason. The situation was even more blurry. I'd just learned so much, I was shaken. I did not understand how the mere presence of Miss Hirabayashi could have an influence on the life of another person. Why did she not want to tell me everything? You fucking piece of shit, Fly. What could I do? I swear to God, Fly. I will stop the stream momentarily to hunt you down and strike you where you fly. Fly. And she thought I was going to be able to clear my head of all these questions? I had no choice but to... Didn't get the fly, but moving on. I had no choice but to do what she told me. She was... the fly is a she now, but the fly was flying around like directly in my face, like 2 inches from my face. It was just... this goddamn fly. What was I doing? Right, I was reading. That's what I was doing. I had no choice but to do what she told me, for the moment hoping that what I had in mind would work. Without further ado, I set off. This goddamn fly. I swear to God. don't even know if it's the same fly that fucking was flying around on me on Thursday. I don't think it is. I think it's a different fly, because I know I killed one. No waste time. Send the message to your friend right away. We have a lot to do today. Miss Hirabayashi was of course already at my home and was waiting for my role to push me to act according to her plan. She had certainly left the temple before me, but that was not the main reason for my later arrival. On the way back, I had started feeling bad for Yuna. I had thought a lot about her, which slowed me down considerably. Of course, Miss Hirabayashi's revelations about what was happening to Yuna were more than present in my mind, but that was not all. I wondered how this girl, who seemed so fragile, and most importantly, could endure all of this that way. She never expressed anything and always seemed to want to keep some distance from others, whereas most would have needed to be surrounded in trials like this in order to be supported and to be able to share what they were feeling. All this did not make any sense. I could imagine that a person at worst would decide to envelop himself into a cocoon, but that was not really what Yuna was doing. She did not refuse contact with others. She did not refuse to speak either. No, it was something else. Yuna only kept distance between herself and the others, without pushing away those who came to her way, without isolating herself. Was she so strong that she could continue to live normally, or only erecting barriers between those who wanted to get too close to her to protect them? Or was she just unaware of what was happening to her? This simple thought made me feel even worse. It was a real possibility. So many lies and mysteries had surrounded me since my arrival that this was more than plausible. But, if that was the case, why did she behave so? What was so, what? Brain? How did you read that as what? Why was she so cold with those who came towards her? Something did not fit. I still lacked elements to understand everything. Mr. Masaki? Send the message to your friend. We have no time to lose. Miss Hirabayashi insisted that I follow instructions. The time had come to get a hold of myself and put my plan into action. ... Don't intend to leave. I want to make sure that you don't forget anything that your message contains. Only what is necessary, if you know what I mean. I see. Miss Hirabayashi's presence made my job a bit more complicated, but I had already anticipated that. I had to be smart about what I was going to write. This was my only shot. Sorry to contact you so late, but I had some problems connecting to the server these last few days. Everything seems to be working again, so here's the news. Things have progressed a lot on my side. I think I have made great progress on my exam. My powers have finally stabilized, and they now appear to be perfectly normal. I have not yet totally mastered their reactions, but it seems to be getting better. I think everything that happened was quite simply related to me being unable to control them. The second event has not happened again, and I am seeing clear progress in regards to the person I am trying to help. I think dedicating myself for a few days to my great passion, lately, stamp collecting, helped me to empty my mind and see things clearly. I still can't fucking say that word. I can now continue my exam without problems, so you no longer need to worry about me or continue your research. There is nothing left to find. Signed, R. So you spent most of your time devoting yourself to your passions? I understand why your progress has been so small. ... I preferred not to say anything. My message was sent and she had not noticed anything. 1 point for me. I was relying on Brett now. ... As the saying goes, silence implies consent. Is that a saying? I've never heard of the saying. Maybe, have you heard of the saying? Or Luke? Silence implies consent? I don't know the saying. Not exactly anyway, not in those words. I know someone not denying something usually means that they did it, but it's usually more done in a joking manner than serious. Let's go downstairs. We have to talk about our little deal now. Oh, and you should air the room out a bit, if you know what I mean. No. ... So many dots. Not enough hyphens. Morse code. Needs more hyphens. Oh, KB, you've heard that saying before? Really? What is ... by the way, in Morse code? Oh, it's an S. I should have remembered that. It's time to get to work. I sat on the couch. Miss Hirabayashi stood up and began to inspect the room before speaking again. First thing you need to know is that it will be impossible for me to accompany you. On the one hand, because I'm trying to remain discreet, but it is mainly for another reason that I will stay away. I told you that was because of my presence here that Yuna's life was now even more in danger. It's true, I didn't lie to you, but... But that's not the exact cause. It's my proximity unit that is the source of all these problems. The closer I am to her, the more she suffers. Yeah, I really should have known what the hell ... was. I just, like, spaced it off. And KB, I get there's sarcasm there, but I have actually used Morse code. Granted, it was a bit more in the joking manner than anything, but I have used it. Not to mention ... dash is SOS. The most common fucking thing ever, and it just didn't dawn on me. Why, I don't know. I have already taken enough risks, and I have already made her suffer enough in recent days, so it's up to you to take over. Can't believe that such a thing is possible. S. ... If you do what is necessary that you understand, it's that simple. She had not changed her mind. She still did not want to tell me anything. I was about to read that as everything. Even if the situation bothered me the most, Yuna's life was at stake, and it was out of the question to waste more time. Very well, what do I have to do? KB, for the same reason that I've used Morse code, it's also the same reason why I know the ASCII character numeric binary representations for being able to spell out letters. I don't know the punctuation and numbers by heart, but I mean, I know how to capitalize a letter as well as make it lowercase, and how to get from one letter to the next, etc. All in ASCII binary. Why? Really no reason. I just know how to do it. Personally, it's more about understanding than doing. You will have to learn why she's feeling so bad. Despite appearances, Yuna is suffering, and not only because of our proximity. This is something you should have already understood. Your powers manifested in her presence, and the powers of Esper never react without reasons. At least not in that way. Or, not that way. But she is not affected by ordinary ills, that's why you have not been able to understand it. What will make your task even more particular is that she doesn't even know herself that she is suffering, or what she is suffering from. S. So we found ourselves in the most complicated case that I had ever considered. The one that did not mean anything to me at that moment. That of a girl who behaved in a very strange way for no apparent reason, and was afflicted by an illness she did not even suspect existed. I wanted to know more. I needed to know more, but I already knew that it was not going to be the case. At least not for the moment. I can see how a person might not know why she is suffering if she doesn't realize what she is enduring, but not to realize that one is suffering. This is still one of your explanations on which I must trust you without trying to understand, right? Exactly. But there is a nuance to seize well. Come on, words. I can read. Not to understand that we suffer is different from not suffering. The pain that Yuna feels is real, but she has always lived like that. It's kind of normal for her, but she does not know what suffering means because suffering has always been part of her daily life. In short, I said that this situation is really special. You cannot proceed as you usually do. If you wait until Yuna confides in you for your powers to react, nothing will ever happen. I did not really need her to understand that Yuna would not talk to me about her problems. What I'm trying to tell you is that for this specific case, it's your discoveries that will make your powers react. I'm not going to hide this any longer. I think your powers are a little different from other Espers, and this puppet show's one and only goal is to awake them. I'm surprised to learn that. No one at the Academy had ever said anything about this to me. I did not really understand what she was talking about. A bit like me who was sorry, but in a different way, maybe. It's a bit hard to explain. Even I am not sure I understand everything. That's why I can't tell you anything about Yuna. If you knew too much, and because of your inexperience, your powers would react in a normal way, and you would not be able to help her. It's not the only reason, but it's one of them. I'm taking a risk by making you aware of your powers. It is extremely difficult to determine the proper course of action. It's not impossible that I'm making a mistake, just as it's possible that I'm making the right decision by telling you about it. Miss Hirabayashi, stop talking, God. The goal is to stimulate some areas of your subconscious in the face of the incoherence of the situation you are going to encounter. In my opinion, this is the only way to check if your powers can go further than those of a simple Esper. But the more you know, the more you will rationalize the situation. Even if you think otherwise, it will be done unconsciously and may be enough to inhibit this aspect of your powers. I can't do the voice forever, Hirabayashi, I can't. Just can't. But given your recent progress and your inability to clear your head of questions, it seems appropriate to inform you of all this. I hope that these revelations will relieve your spirit without confining it to the idea that this whole situation is normal. I'm gonna need to take a drink after all this. You don't need to do anything in particular about this, simply follow my advice. Everything is happening in an area of your mind that you don't control, so try not to think about it anymore. All you need to know is that you should have the ability to settle some particular cases. That's why I'm here, because I felt all that. Powers are out of the ordinary? What does that mean exactly? Why didn't no one ever tell me about this at the academy? I'd be planning to tell me more, because I'm going to have a hard time contenting myself with just this. Accidentally minimized game. Miss Hirabayashi sat next to me and her voice seemed to become less serious. All I can tell you is that I felt the singularity when I lifted the seal on your powers. This aspect of your abilities was asleep and awoke for a brief moment where I returned all your powers to you. I wasn't sure at the moment when it happened, but when I felt your powers react later, especially with you and I realized that I was not mistaken. No one could have guessed this aspect of your powers when you were at the academy, and I'm the only one who really knows how they've evolved since the beginning of your exam. It is perfectly normal, therefore, that I and I alone would be able to realize all this. That's all I'm going to tell you about your powers, and I just explained the reason behind that. Besides, you should take everything I've just told you about your abilities with a grain of salt. This can only be confirmed one way. I think I'm starting to understand, thanks. But makes you think that I'm special? Well, that my powers might be. I understand that you have felt something different, but how is this different? You would understand if I explained it to you. These are not facts that can be translated into words. It's a feeling related to my experience and the powers of the Espers. If I felt it when I lifted the seal on your powers, it's because it's something very special. Alright, Hirabayashi, chill for a moment. I need to take a drink. There we go. Drink has been acquired. Rio has drank. All I can guarantee you is that an Esper whose powers that could be considered normal would have never found anything in you as a company. Bad thing about said drink is my mouth is not watering. Well, there's that. This doesn't mean that you can go further, but it is a possibility, and its success depends only on you. But by going further, as you say, I'll be able to save Yuna, is that right? That's the goal, yes. And if I fail, if I'm not the one you think? S. I'm sure of myself, the rest depends only on you. If you fail, it'll be your fault. You have all the cards to succeed. Are you serious? If it helps you understand the gravity of the situation, then yes. Let's say I'm serious. Dead serious. I was not sure what she was trying to insinuate, S. I can't stop reading ellipsis S now. When you got drunk last week during Pixelmon, you failed to drunk text the chick you usually drunk text, and she said you betrayed her. Already. Interesting. Wait, do you normally get drunk when we play Pixelmon? You'll have to dig into Yuna's past. I was led to believe you were pretty good at this exercise. But it would not be so simple this time. Yuna is an ordinary person just like everyone else. The lead you're looking for is shrouded in mysteries. Don't expect to find information by interviewing the first person you come across or by reading the newspapers. Luke, are you this other girl now that KB is referring to? Wait, did I read that last dialogue? I did. That was your first time watching Pixelmon? Really? I thought you were there before, briefly at least. Huh. Weird. Besides, you probably won't find anything anywhere. Almost everything is buried in Yuna's mind, but she herself doesn't know it. She doesn't remember any of that. For this reason, she would not be able to speak to you directly about her past. But if you could get her to talk to you about her more intimately, then your powers might be able to feel something. What I mean by that is that your powers are likely to react if she starts talking to you about an aspect of her life that is partly responsible for her pain. Unfortunately, when she finds herself in that situation, Yuna feels deeply affected by every word she utters. She doesn't know how to translate what's happening to her. She feels that something is wrong, but she doesn't understand why or what it is. It is mainly for this reason that she speaks so little. She's trying to protect herself. That's not the only reason, but that's part of the problem. Smartly explained Yuna's behavior, I began to assemble the first pieces of the puzzle. Yuna's illness seemed to be linked to a strong event that she had gone through, and now almost completely forgotten, to which Miss Hirabayashi was bound. It was still very vague, but it was a start. How could she forget what had happened to her? What was Miss Hirabayashi's role in the story? The other reasons that Yuna was so distant and inexpressive. I still lacked the most important answers, but given the situation was enough to begin to understand the situation at this moment. If you could recall what you were talking to her about when your previous visions happened, it might help you. These visions happened because you touched a sore spot, because you brought Yuna to talk to you about something that was important to her. You didn't see anything because you completely ignored your abilities and you weren't focused enough, among other things. But I doubt that you could remember anything. Your memory must be blurred because of these visions, so don't bother trying to remember those moments. It would be a waste of time. Luckily for us, Yuna doesn't know exactly why her body reacts that way. She attributed this to speaking, which is not totally false, since it is by evoking certain aspects of her life that the sensation is manifested, but that's not true either. So, you should be able to get her to talk to you about herself again and learn more before she realizes what is plunging her into this state. You seem to know a lot about her and her problems. Would I have played a role in all this by chance, between what you just told me, what your presence here implies for Yuna, and the risk you are taking to help her? S. You will understand the whole story in due time. I have already told you. For the moment, up to your mind of any useless questions I may cross it. She was hiding too many things for me to have nothing to do with the story. I already knew that she was somewhat involved, but I was beginning to understand that it was surely more than that. Oh, hi, Kitty came out again. Making me think KB or Luke said something? How dare you, Kitty K-Bot? But unfortunately, she did not seem willing to reveal anything else to me, and I already said that we did not have any more time to waste. So, what you advised me to do is meet Yuna again and encourage her to tell me about her private life and her past. That's the plan. Do not know if you often talk to people around you, but people's private life is not usually the easiest subject to bring up, and it's even harder with people you barely know. Also, energy drink, which is what I was taking, or what I was drinking earlier. Why are you making me burp so much tonight? I've never had this much of a burping problem with energy drink. My normal brand, too. It's not like I went for, like, I don't know, a brand I don't normally drink, like Red Bull. Figure it out. You're an Esper, are you? Make her feel like she needs to talk to you, and make her understand that you can help her. If you aren't able to do that, you will never be an Esper. S. She was right. Although I felt that I hadn't gotten enough help and information from her, there were some things that I had to be able to do alone. You have the night to think about it and to regain your strength. You'll be able to meet her in the city center tomorrow morning. She takes a stroll there every day. Used to drink Red Bull and acid shit. I fucking hate Red Bull. I've never liked Red Bull. I've drank Red Bull because it was like the only thing available. But other than that, I don't drink Red Bull. It did not give me wings. If anything, it gave me concrete shoes. Hey, where are you going? Going to bed. Did you see the time? We talked all day, and besides, it's very rude to ask that of a woman, you know. But that's why we're... Why do you think I asked you to air out the room? I would have been unable to sleep with... you understand. Sleep well. You mustn't miss Yuna tomorrow morning. Sleep is no longer an option. Pretty sure that it was already late. I had not seen the time pass. The next day is promised to be long, very long. Sleep with a bitch. I don't know if that's a good idea, KB. I don't know if that's a good idea at all. I believe she's like 18 years older than me, but I mean... But I guess technically we're both legal? But still, I don't think... I don't think that's a good idea. Wait, where's the wing? Is that the actual Overwatch wing? Oh, it is. Oh. Luke, when the hell did they add those emotes? The next day is promised to be long, very long. I was hoping that Brett had understood the message. I really needed his help. Without further ado, I decided to follow her advice and go to bed. The following day would be very busy, and sleeping was the best way not to think about it, since I was supposed to clear my mind. Looking at the couch, I realized why it was so spacious. The memories of my first night in the living room began to haunt me. The night was going to be difficult. God. Oh god, I'm actually yawning now. Yeah. Tried to do a more authentic yawn, and now I actually yawned. When I opened my eyes, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Second question. KB, what? You're going to feel naked without your nails. What? That's a random thing to read. I had not slept well, that was obvious, but I did not think it would be that bad. It was even worse than the first time. I had pain everywhere. Everywhere. Oh god. It was useless to think of going back to bed, at least not on this couch. Miss Hirabayashi did not seem to be up yet. I was okay with that. I did not want to hear another of her sermons when I woke up, but most of all, there was someone else who might not want to meet her. It was time for Maria to arrive, and I was not sure that she still held Miss Hirabayashi in high esteem after all that had happened. You had to clip them. Why do you have to clip them, KB? Probably even have been angry at what Miss Hirabayashi had told her about her memory. You just put up comparison pics on Twitter. I did not have time to finish my reflection before the sound of the door was heard. Oh, hello. I see you're up, or you're already up. That's lucky. I'll be able to take care of your room this morning and enjoy the afternoon. Wait. Too late. I did not have time to warn her. She went directly upstairs where her new best enemy was sleeping. I did not want to witness this scene, even from afar. I had to go for a walk to wake up. Yeah, I would never want to have nails that long, by the way. They would just get in the way of typing. And considering I type a shit ton, that would be a problem. It's really empty here at this time. Everything is still closed. City Center was still asleep. It was an almost scary sight, but it was an opportunity to think about how best to deal with Yuna. I knew that approaching her should not be too difficult. She did not seem to have an interest that exceeded the scope of the conversation and those who spoke to her, and therefore had no prejudice. No prejudice. What did I just read? Okay. It made sense. I just was like not pausing properly. But then did not know how to make the subject revolve around her life. It was a delicate subject to discuss, especially with everything I already knew. I could not ignore everything I had learned. It was also a really vast topic. It could be about so many things. I saw her lack of loquacity as an advantage, at least in the beginning. I thought I could move quickly from one subject to another without her realizing what I was doing, but if I ever found something, I'd have to make her talk, and that was another problem in and of itself. Then I could approach the subject of her studies or her hobbies. It's not really complicated and seemed like a usual topic of conversation that acquaintance might bring up. But for the rest, for everything that was more intimate, I felt it was mostly me that would be bothered by talking about this. Speaking of intimate, KB. Actually, I don't know how this would be intimate at all, but whatever. Have you thought about fake nails? Ones that you could easily like take on, off, as needed, if you wanted longer nails without having to worry about trimming them or whatever. They're also less likely to break, quote unquote. The more I thought about it, the more I told myself that for her, talking about one subject or another would not make a difference. And given the seriousness of the situation, it was very likely that her pain was not related to the problem with her dance club or a bad grade on the last exam. I was going to have to dig deeper. Broach more sensitive topics like family, feelings, or even health. Though I already knew that for that last topic, things were not going well at all. It was quite a strange situation. She had mentioned her visit to the hospital and transferred to another facility, but that was that. Why was she going to the hospital? Yuna was not aware of her suffering, according to Miss Hirabayashi. Did she finally feel something? Or did she go because of the sensation she felt when certain subjects related to her condition were discussed? I knew that Yuna did not really understand what affected her and that her problem could only be solved by an Esper with special skills, but she did not know that. If that was right, if she went for a reason related to the story that she did not know about, then it was useless. Yuna was going to waste her precious time. Medicine would be unable to help her. No, because that involves spending money at salons regularly or trying to learn it myself, and let's be real, I ain't girly enough for that shit. Hey, get Marcus to learn how to do it, so he can do it for you. He'll become your personal salon. He's there for a reason, right? Oh, read this line. Okay, moving on. It was a really horrible situation. I absolutely had to do something about it, since I was apparently the only one who could do it. I tried to plan the best course of action. The easiest thing to do would be to start by talking about the transfer. She had already brought up the subject. It seemed natural to bring it up again. I could just pretend to want news. I hope to be able to confirm my assumptions and learn more. Oh, KB, I can. I actually can. I don't know if you've seen how long my hair is, but I would love to have someone be able to fucking do that because there's no fucking way I'm getting the entire length on my own. At least not all of it all the time. It is such a pain in the ass to brush. I hope to be able to confirm my assumptions and learn more. If my parents did not react, it would probably be due to the fact that she had not discovered anything about what affected her. And from there, it would be easier for me to cover some other topics. Thought I could get away with a bit of improvisation based on what she was going to tell me about her condition. If I listened to her problems and my powers reacted and reached her, then I thought things would evolve. But my plan stopped there. I had no idea what would happen next. You came to top me, didn't you? Didn't I have time to finish my reflection? What currently looked like my worst nightmare appeared before me. He's back. Drake XXX. You tried to trade foot massages with lotion for hair brushing. Interesting. Interesting compromise. Doesn't sound terrible of a compromise, but interesting compromise or trade. Also, this music's the best. Night, Luke. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you've been enjoying this game, Luke, since you didn't get to catch any of it Thursday. Huh? Oh, I played some games with you the other day. It looks like you come here a lot. Don't act, Exit. I know you're looking to become the champion of this arena. There's no other possible reasons for your presence here at the arcade's opening hour. Came to see if I managed to get back to the top of the ranking, right? I'm going to save you some time, but only because I'm having a good day. So did not understand what he wanted. I haven't tried yet. I was too busy asking for money from my mother. But today is another day. Look at this. 1,000 yen. It's a perfect opportunity to take my revenge. It's a sign of destiny. Come on, I'm paying. Hey, don't pummel me like that. Boy grabbed me by the sleeve and pulled me into the arcade. I was surprised I did not have time to react. Yeah, like, I mean, fair enough, but, I gave you the gist of the, story, and honestly, there hasn't been, like, too much else going on. There's specifics, sure, but you should be able to pick up on most of that just by having watched the past couple hours. Sorry, but I don't have time. I'm waiting for someone. I really have to go. Really have to go. You talk about the silver-haired girl. I saw you with her the other day. She would not come for another 2 hours at least. You can trust me. I see her every day. I know her schedule. You know her? Not really. Well, maybe. Is that a yes or a no? I have trouble following you. That's all we mean by knowing. There's knowing and knowing, you know? Knowing and knowing? I don't know. Can you tell me about her, for example? Not really. Well, maybe. Again, is that a yes or no? I still have trouble following you. It depends on what you want to know. There are things I know and other things that I don't know. This kid's great. Thought he was mocking me. I don't know. Can you tell me about her hobbies, her studies, or even her family? I have some of that information, yes, but it won't be free. Would it charge me for information that I could find by talking to other regulars or people on the street? This kid. Yes, but I don't want money. Play with me. Let's have a rematch and I'll tell you what I know. And in addition, if I win, I will give you some very confidential information about her. Some info that only I know. So what do you say? Even if his information was ultimately uninteresting, I thought it was worth a try. I had nothing to lose and told myself he could surprise me. I accepted his offer. Okay, let's do it. The boy approached the arcade cabinet we had played at the previous time and inserted probably his money into the machine. I joined him. Let's go, it's on me. Wow, I'm on fire today. Looks like your luck is gone. What a dazzling victory. Would appear so, yes. Did not realize that I just let him win. But it was a rather good thing. As long as we both won something. Come on, one more. We're supposed to answer my questions after our rematch? Yes, but later. Champion must never interrupt a winning streak. That's the rule. Straight. I'd only let him win once. Come on, here we go again. I'll pay, don't worry. Gaming addictions. 29 hit combo. I'm on fire. You didn't even have time to react. That's impressive indeed. We move on now. You're joking. I'm on fire. One more. Despite his unbearable insistence and contempt for others, this boy had his good sides. During our games, he could not help gesticulating. He grimaced, spoke. He lived his passion communicatively. It was not the first time I felt that. Enough and I. It has returned for punishment. Hopefully. If it decides to land somewhere anyway. He reminded me of my old friend Haruka, and just like her, he was to a lesser extent a source of motivation and inspiration. He made me rethink my way of approaching my job as Esper. The situation was difficult for me, but it was even worse for those who were suffering. I had to show as much enthusiasm for my work as an Esper. Of course, I did not intend to dance in front of the people I was going to have to help. But I wanted, like him, to invest myself to the fullest in what was, of course, my work, but also and above all, something that I really wanted to do. You know, it still bothers me that so many weird random mistakes got through fucking verification process on my end and someone else's end. Like, how the hell does this happen? I will never question a game's subtitles or the QA ever again. After having gone through this game again and noticing all these random shit that I missed, I will never question it. I won't like it, but I won't question it. I should not let myself be distracted by everything that was happening around me and my powers. It was hard for me. But it was even hard... Fly? What the... Okay. Just a second.